Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today we're at an annual event that I love to come to. We're at Kop Hill Climb near Prince Risborough in the heart of Buckinghamshire. So yes, I'm at the start line. I'm not going to show you the cars going up the hill again because you can't really see a lot unless you get a press pass. Maybe I should do that next year. Drop me a suggestion down below. But there's the hill, that's where the cars will go up. Of course, hill climbing was a bit of a thing back in the 20s when you were not certain that a car would get up a hill. But of course now with some of the specimens, we've got a Defender going up there. You know, we know that some of these modern vehicles are going to get up there. What is Kop Hill? It's a car show with a hill climb. We've got some lovely specimens going up this Mazda RX-7, I think, just behind me there, revving their engines up. We've got Mini, we've got M5, I think. Yeah, it's a car show with a hill climb element these days, and they raise money for charity. This time last year they were, I think, on about 800,000-900,000. They've now broken, so since they've been doing this, they've broken the £1 million mark. So I think they're just shy of £1,100,000 raised for charity. So massive contribution to local charities. Absolutely fantastic. What we're going to do on Beards and Bangers is have a look around the paddock. So there's a Renault Alpine just about to go up the hill, but we'll hopefully catch some of these guys in the paddock in a minute. So we'll look at what's going to go up the hill rather than the cars going up the hill. So follow me and we'll have a wander around the paddock. So it was good timing, just managed to get into the paddock and got this rather tuned sounding Austin A40 Farina. Yeah, it looks very clean, bit of a roll cage going on in there. Austin GT40, so I'm sure there's a story behind that car, but I think they're about to prepare to go up the hill, so we won't try and interrupt them. But now we're into the paddock. Oh, we've got something rather interesting. Obviously, I don't know all the cars. My specialisms are sort of MG Rover products and some BMW stuff and some Ford stuff and the odd Fiat. But so if I do get things wrong, I do apologise. Do feel free to drop a comment down below to put me right. I really don't mind people doing that, as long as it's done in a polite and good-spirited way. So we're greeted by some loveliness straight away. So we've got a GT40 or GT40 Replica. Could be, without a registration, that could be it's not on a Q plate, so that could be an actual GT40. And that's, of course, yeah, wonderful sleek cars capable of over 200 miles an hour. And then we've got a bit of an Italian corner going on here. So it's red Italian cars. There's just something so lovely about them. So we've got a Delta Integrale HF16 valve. Not sure if we saw this at Cheersley last week. Certainly saw something with someone very similar, and I think we did, because this is Alpha 33 as well, also in red. It's on a private plate. It's a bit hard to age it, but yeah, super rare cars. I mean, we're very lucky in Buckinghamshire. Obviously, it is a wealthy county. We're one of the home counties, so definitely stockbroker, commuter belt, and you know, we are lucky that it's a moneyed area. So there are some absolutely prize cars in this part of the world. This Maserati is quite something. That is a big old beast. It's yours, a Maserati Indy, and the gentleman who owns it is standing next to me. Are you taking it up the hill, sir? No. It's been up. Okay. You've been to the Nürburgring as well. So. Previous owner's been to the Nürburgring. So look at this Maserati Indy, and that is just stunning. That really is. I mean, that's just not something you see every day. Really, really lovely to see. And then we've got sort of Alfa Sud 1.3. So pretty cars. I mean, it would have been just a fairly ordinary car back in the day when these were new, but just a really beautifully designed. Oh, that's the thing with Italian cars, always so nicely designed. Now this looks interesting. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a Lancia of some sort. It is a Lancia, but what model it is, I don't know. But that's a very shapely thing. We've got another Maserati here, some kind of two-seat sports car. A 1,000 Mille Miglia. So maybe that is the name. But what a glorious thing. Let's have a look in the engine. We can have a look because it's open. Yeah, so just a 4-cylinder engine. But look at that. That exhaust looks very, very, very well flowed. There's not a lot of resistance there. Beautiful thing. We've got an Alfa Spider behind that. So many red Italian cars here. It's really good. A Spider 1300 Junior. Now this one in front looks interesting. I'm not going to dwell on every car like this, but some of these Italian specimens here are just fantastic. So this is a 1936 Fiat Topolino. Isn't it just gorgeous? Really, really lovely looking thing. Yeah, and quite, if you think of some of the sort of the British cars of that period, very square, slabby body on a chassis, whereas this is just curvaceous, and that shape does have hints of the kind of later 500s. You can see where Fiat were going, you really can. That's, yeah, very interesting shape. Just try and show it in a bit more better profile. Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Just beautiful thing. Quite, yeah, similar kind of back to the Volvo 1800s at certain angles, but yeah, just again curvaceous, stunning, very clean lines. We're getting quite squashed in here, so we'll go as far as we can. Another Spider. We've got, this is interesting at the back here, so we'll have a look at the SZ at the moment, but this is a very recent Alfa. And that's a very sexy looking beast. I like that a lot. 8C Competizione. That's, yeah, I like that. I like that. Don't know much about them, so I don't know what the engine it's got. This SZ is different, not as curvaceous, but just still so pretty. Another Giulia at the back there. That's the modern cars. We won't look at those. But yeah, this thing is just lovely. I really like that. Let's have a look under the bonnet, see what it's packing. Ooh, it's a V6. Yeah, that's, yeah, very, very, very pleasant indeed. Alfa 2000 Spider on the end here. I think we've got a Ferrari. So a lot of Alfas, a couple of Fiats, but we've got a Ferrari there, and we've got another Alfa here. So, yeah, that's seriously red. So a very red Italian corner of the Kop Hill Climb paddock. I'm pretty certain we've seen this competition modified MGA before, but yeah, that's a pretty, I mean, they're very pretty cars. Obviously that's a little bit modified, so it's not quite as pretty as some of them, but it's still a looking thing. I've seen this bus before as well, the BMC competition department lorry. I think it's I've got a feeling it's an Austin lorry. We'll just have a quick look at the front. Morris Commercial, sorry, I was wrong. So it's a Morris Commercial, Austin Transporter, call it what you will. A bit confusing on the logo. And the coach was by Appleyard of Leeds. Look at that, it's got a little kitchen area for the engineers and the driver to relax, and of course a Marilyn Monroe calendar up there. We've got a car we saw last week at Cheersley, which I'll home in on in a sec. We've got another Alfa here by the looks of it. That's not part with the other Italians. But that's lovely. And then we've got the Z1 that we saw last week, which I love. They always take this up the hill. So here's the lovely green BMW Z1 that we've seen so many times before. Just to remind you how the doors work, so they don't go out, they go up. So the doors disappear into the sills, and that's how you get in and out of the car. Super rare, left-hand drive only, absolutely fantastic things. They've got a bit of a blackboard going on here, so with some essential facts. So yeah, straight six, 2494 cc engine, 136 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds. And because of its design, it's probably going to be quite a weighty vehicle, because you know you're going to have some pretty strong sort of structure to have doors that do something like that. We have got some other BMWs here as well. We've got this TVR. Always see plenty of those at the shows, but look at this. We've got a 5 Series. And it's an M-powered engine, so straight 6. I'm guessing it's a 2.5 or 3 litre.
3.5.
3.5 litre, so it's a E28 M5. So yeah, I remember my neighbour when I was little had just a normal 5 Series E28, but this this is a beautiful thing, in a kind of a, I want to say it's an anthracite grey.
It's called Special Blue Black.
Special Blue Black, the owner tells me. It is a very special colour because
Purple, or it looks black, or it looks blue.
Ah, so it's got a bit of a flip going on. So yeah, but it's it's one of those. One of those ones. Yeah,
just the light.
The light, so whatever the light is, will determine the colour. But yeah, lovely. I've actually got those centre caps in my unit. So that's what we've worked out what they're from now.
What's that?
I've got some of those centre caps.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it's like a souvenir. So thank you for talking. Yeah, beautiful thing. Yeah, seriously quick. I'm not sure this is the first M produced car, but yeah, you can just see the throttle bodies and that lovely angle straight 6 engine that we see on all good BMWs. So we've got a Lancia, we've got some more Italian stuff over here, so a bit bigger, so very similar. If you look at the styling of that, very similar to the TR7 actually, isn't it? But probably a little bit less prone to rust and a little more reliable. Testarossa, I think I recognise this one. This one's a local car, I'm sure. And then we've got a Fiat Spider gracing us there. I am heading towards a BMW, although I'm going to be distracted by this Swallow sidecar. So those in the know will know that Swallow sidecar became Jaguar, of course. So started out making motorcycle sidecars, graduated into sort of sports cars, and then of course William Lyons founded the Jaguar car company, and the rest is history, as they say. So beautiful piece of British engineering. The what, sorry? Let's have a look at, let's look at the Leaper. So hopefully the camera will pick it up. That's the original Leaper, the owner is saying. You can, hopefully that's focusing, I'm not sure it is. We'll put the behind it, but you can see the fangs of the Jaguar, very prominent. And then we've got a Lotus Elan. Look at this. Look at that little, very neat twin cam engine. Tiny little car. So you don't need a massive amount of power. You just have a lighter chassis, and that propels you where you need to go. And then we've got a BMW O2. I'm guessing it's a TII, but can't be completely certain. But yeah, that's sort of competition spec with sort of bucket seats and roll cage, pretty stripped out. So it's going to be nice and lightweight, and will no doubt go very well. But they're just beautiful things, and that's what the kidney grills should look like on a BMW, I think. Small, the size of kidneys, not the size of mammoth kidneys. Another Lotus here, and it's getting quite busy in this area, so there's obviously some kind of kit car. And we've seen this car before, so BMW 3 litre CSL, again with that kind of corporate front end that BMW had in the 1970s with the very thin kidney grills. So exactly what we like to see. Yellow Porsche 911, and then we've got some American stuff, and we've got one of these V2, kind of almost a motorcycle on a body. So yeah, that's quite something. Aluminium body, no idea what it is, but fascinating. A Pembleton, I'm being told. So
A Pembleton.
A Pembleton three-wheeler with a V2 up front.
Lots of 2CV bits inside.
Okay, very interesting. So yeah, so two CV running gear and bits and bobs. Yeah, very interesting car. Are you going up the hill, sir?
Yeah, well, it's my dad's car. I'm going up with him.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Perfect.
A bit later on.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Have a
Thank you
great
very
day.
much. You too. Take care. Looks like a McLaren. Just didn't spot that. Don't know how I missed that because they're quite distinctive looking cars. And we've got this Burton here. So that's I'm not sure if that's a kit car or whether it's a sort of small manufacturer. But yeah, very aerodynamic, sleek, small sports car. One of my favourites here, red TR6 on a J plate. So yeah, that's nice. We've got some more. I think that's probably one of the electric newer Lotus. So we'll move past that. Another McLaren, another Lotus over here, and then we've got a Bristol. I think I'm pretty sure we saw this last week. We did. I'm certain. So we've got our storage bins in the front wings there. So I'm pretty certain we saw this at Cheersley last week. So yeah, nice rare sight on the roads. And we've got DB. What's this? DB6, I think. DBS. So yeah, pretty special thing. We have got an actual Fiat 500 and something else. We've got another Lotus to land on the end. So, and of course, we're back to where the cars kind of queue up to go up the hill. So there's some of the specimens about to go up. So we'll hopefully catch these when they come back round in a moment. So we always see lots of Cerberas at these local car shows, but this is a TVR Tuscan. This is one of the sort of older, more classic TVRs. What's great is we can really have a good peer in through the there's this rear canopy, and you can see the kind of real basic dash. This is a competition one. Tiny car, but it's packing a V8 engine, so that's just I imagine that's an absolute blast to drive. Another all aluminium car just burbling up over there. We've got Pontiac Pontiac GTO, so loads of bonnet, loads of everything, just a massive slab of car, really quite big. There's our twin downdraft carburetors under the bonnet there. That's an American car just revving up behind us. Another Fiat 124 Spider, so not all the Italians are in one corner. Another Porsche 911. Excuse me. And then we've got a Chevrolet 396. Again, just loads of bonnet and a real mean looking Corvette, actually, sorry, Chevrolet Corvette, and it's got a very mean looking front end. We've got some more, another Porsche down here. That's lovely, isn't it? Real classic Porsche. Quite something. They've got their GoPro mounted on the rear, obviously going to capture their journey up the hill if they haven't already made it. That dear little thing just whizzing past. Sounds very aggressive, but we'll have to have a proper look at that later on. This is a Reliant Sabre 6 GT. That's a nice looking thing. That's a very nice looking thing indeed. Sunbeam Imp, I think. It's what?
Have a good time going up the hill.
Have I seen it before?
Time going up the hill as well. Sun visors on.
Yeah, so we saw this at the big meet. The gentleman was just reminding me. I see so many cars. Yeah, an X-Works Imp. So there we are. I've got some of the rally drivers who actually raced it. So this was on the routes or the racing team of Sunbeam. Isn't that a great little thing? No roll cage, just seats, just quite normal. But obviously got your slight nod to your sporting pedigree with your spotlights up the front there, and it's nice to see that car again. We've got E-Type with the bluest of blue paint. That's very, very clean indeed. Can't see a registration number. It's a C on a C, so it's 1960s. And we've got a Lancia, what's this? Lancia Fulvia, is it Fulvia? So that very typical 1960s designed Italian saloon. We've got a Sunbeam Tiger, so of course the Roots' kind of flagship car, so basically an Alpine with a V8, so pretty nice sounding things. Daimler SP250 Dart, one of my favourite cars. Next to another one of my favourite cars, a Healy 3000 Mark III. Not sure if I recognise this one. Possibly. That in that red interior in that condition is familiar. But yeah, that is a good-looking thing. Yeah, I think I've seen this car being worked on, but I could be wrong. Always going to get plenty of these at any British car event, so we don't need to say what it is because we know what it is. And then we've got a Lotus Cortina. I think it's a Cortina, it's a Consul. But that's for there's the Lotusified cross-flow engine that Ford let Lotus put in these things and make very naughty. TR, it's got a bonnet bulge, so is it a 5? No, it's a 4, so it's even earlier than a 4A. And this looks very much like a D-type Jaguar, I think. Not sure, it's not the Tejero, because you've got to sort of scoot behind the driver's head on that one. But yeah, seriously nice looking thing. There is some movement going on. Apologies for the PA, but they've got to tell people what's going on. And that's another 250. So often see one of these at a show, but to see two, so one behind the Lotus Cortina, one here, is quite a thing. This
obviously, absolutely not. And tell me about
Lancia is manoeuvring, and that's absolutely glorious. There's a few gaps you'll notice. That's because there's obviously people coming up the hill. So we'll have a little wait here for a moment, and we can capture these guys when they get back round. Bit of a go up the hill, then to turn left, back down to Monk Risborough, and then into Princess Risborough again. It's a bit busy, so they might take some time to re-emerge. So a couple of things that have come in or come back in. We've got this P38 Range Rover. Pretty sure we saw this at Cheersley last Sunday. So it's the Range Rovers we see least often. We see a lot of L322s and classics, as I said before, but not very many P38s. We've got a couple of rather nice BMWs in here, along with I think we saw the Porsche, this Porsche a little earlier. We've got another C or D type Jag here, and they're just so lovely, very expensive to buy. And we've got an E46 M3. Yeah, that's a serious bit of kit. Those wheels are very cosseted in there. I wonder if it's on air, but that's a seriously modified M3. Yes, yeah, a little bit different to my 330, shall we say? So a slightly bigger engine, obviously. I don't know what's under the bonnet, but yeah, very nice looking thing. And then we've got an M2, so this is the 2 Series, of course, so it's like a derivative of the 1 Series, but yeah, that sounds rather nice. It's a more modern BMW, so I'm not quite familiar. What engine have you got under the bonnet here then? S55. Right. So these are one of the better looking modern cars, I think. They've actually got a bit of thought into it, and not a chunky box like most of the cars on the road today. But yeah, I'm beginning to become quite fond of the 2 Series, particularly the 2 Series coupes, and this M2 is just superb and sounds absolutely great as an MGB comes up behind me sneakily. So there's some big American stuff just kind of getting in positions. I'm guessing they're going to the Oki. So that Camaro SS is just, I mean, that's just insane. I mean, look at the back wheels on that are wider than a bloody Mini. It's just kind of just inching forward. got some kind of kit behind it, and then we've got this Pontiac Trans Am, which is just pretty standard. And then behind that we've got a great big, now what is this police car? It's a seriously big car. And this is just what you think of as American police cars. It's a Dodge of some sort. And it just goes on forever. It took me about 10 minutes to walk from the front to the back of that. Yeah, beautiful, great big Dodge police car. And then we've got a Cooper S, an Austin Cooper S.
One of the next cars to go
and
up
that's,
the hill is
can't tell what engine it is. It's an early one, so it could be something rare, like a 1071 or even a 970. Now, if it is one of those, they're as rare as hen's teeth. But yeah, that's a series. They're just so nice, aren't they? Yeah, but that's a very, very early Cooper S. And the MGA has just started off. Let's see what this sounds like. Thought they were going to go, but they're not. So they're not quite their time yet.
Fantastic time up the hill. Thank you very much.
Some more Italian stuff just coming back in. No, we haven't seen these ones, so there's a few we've missed. Do apologise. Try and get as much as we can in. Yeah, isn't that lovely? So quiet as well. So we'll have a bit more of a wander. So we've got these Lagondas. When we saw lots of Lagondas here last year, so big British sports car. We've got some other bits and bobs around here. Austin 7 with a wicker body and an RAF roundel on the back. Isn't that interesting?
So if you'd like to do this,
And then what have we got here? Aston Martin, I think. It is an Aston Martin. So some kind of Aston Martin two-seat sports car. And we're getting older and older. So I think there is some more modern stuff over on the other side. We've seen this MG before. This is definitely a special. So it's a 1936, but I'm pretty sure this was rebodied later on. But that's just got a 1.3 litre engine. So that great big rocker cover is hiding just a 1.3 straight six. 1.3 straight six. It's that sort of thing that was going on in the 1930s. This Bentley's just coming out behind me, and that's just idling away. Very nice. We'll catch up with him in a sec. MGVA, I think this one, and this is quite an early MG, to be honest. So very pretty. And then other size spectrum, we've got another Austin 7. I'm not sure if that's a nippy, but yeah, tiny little thing. Got the external handbrake. Look at that, and just really rudimentary, but absolutely lovely. And we've got something a bit bigger and beefier next to it. We've got a Bentley. There is a supercharger on the front, so it's a blower of some sort. And a BSA. So BSA made a lot of bikes, but they also made these three-wheel sports cars, which we can see here. That's very, very clean indeed. Almost like a boat at the back there. Yeah, well, that's quite cool. And now this looks interesting. So it's a 1935 Ford Model 48. That grille is lovely. And obviously that's very similar to the Ford Popular grille, actually, just on a much bigger scale. When we've got a Ford V8 under the bonnet with a Holly carburetor. Another Austin 7. And that's lovely. That's got a real short body on it, so not a lot behind the seats. Always so nice to see lots of Austin 7s. I know people have got very mixed feelings. That's one of the vintage cars that I do get fairly excited about, just because if you do have one, they're fairly easy to find storage for, because they are tiny. Now I recognise this one from the back, but I can't quite place what it is. It is a Riley. And that's a very, very clean example. Very nice indeed.
It's pronounced soapbox, but it's actually a C5, which is.
We've got another Riley here, so it's a pretty similar design, but we've got this rather interesting
Talking to him at
bonnet mascot, and I've not seen that before, so if anyone knows what that bonnet mascot is, then do drop a comment down below. This is a ridiculously big car, and this means a lot to me because my father had it. This is a Packard Straight 8, and my father had a Packard Straight 8 back in the 1960s with his friend, my uncle Ian. And I think they put triple carburetors on it, and they basically blew it up. That's of course when cars like this were.
I'll be having this chat with
That's of course when cars like this were just commonplace. But yeah, you wouldn't mess with a Packard Straight 8 now and blow it up like my father did. It's brilliant, utterly brilliant. So yeah, here's to you, Dad. So nearly 4 years since his passing. So it's really nice to see one of these today. Really good. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Oh, all emotional now. It's interesting. Lockdown Special, LDS, based on a Hillman Aero Minx Streamline 944, 934. So it's obviously been, yeah, slightly modified car. Someone has done some engineering during lockdown, which is quite a sensible thing to do. Another Riley. I think this is another. There's a Singer. So I don't know where the Singer Owners Club is. They're normally here. They're probably on the back, but there's a Singer parked up here. Is this another BSA? It is. Another BSA. And this is another. That's not a Riley. It's an Aston Martin. That's got to be quite rare. So I'm not too clued up on some of these older cars, so I'll just show them, and if anyone recognises them, do drop a comment down below, or if you know if it is your car, then do say. Another Aston there. So it's a lot of stuff going on in the engine bay, and then we've got a little military car. I'm guessing it's a German military car because we've got some German signs here. Falaise. So that's obviously one of the battle of the Falaise Gap was one of the World War II battles after Operation Overlord. Yeah, and here's our little German army truck thing with I'm guessing an MG42, a replica. One hopes. Motorcycles are revving up, so they're about to go up the hill. And we've got a Citroen DS, is it? Very pretty car, very attractive car, very, yeah, I guess these must look very modern when they first came out, because they're so different to the kind of square stuff like the BSA that we see here. So, yeah, really nice to see. The smell in this paddock is absolutely superb because there's just lots of burnt petrol smells, which I do like. MGT type, not quite sure which one, but we always see a few of those. Big Rolls Royce. We were discussing this yesterday, so there's 75, someone else is videoing behind me. They're talk about the Buick, which we'll have a look at in a minute. I think we can see all the valves moving, but yeah, 75% of Rolls Royces that were ever built are still on the road. So there's a stat for you. Morgan three-wheeler, and this Wolseley sports car's particularly good looking. That's lovely. Another MGB. Now, what is this? I recognise it, but I can't quite place it. It's an Armstrong Siddeley 12 Plus. And I bet that's got. I don't know if we can. The windows are not open, so we can't smell inside it. But they've got a particular smell, Armstrong Siddeley's, I find. Just let this gentleman take his ever so artistically composed photograph. He's really concentrating on what he's getting in there. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Rat. It's called Rat. Obviously, it's got a slightly ratty look. But we've got a Morris Cowley that's got some slight modifications. So some kind of throttle body action going on there. Or some kind of downdraft carburettor, very interesting air intake, and Winnie the Pooh in the background. So motorbike just fired up and made a lot of smoke. Another Lagonda, we always see a few of these here. Then a Triumph, this is a Triumph Gloria, I thought it was a Renown, but it's a Gloria, so yeah. Triumph's always very sporty looking things. Austin 7, Krusty the Desert Rat. So a 7 RM saloon. And this car was driven in 2007 from Beijing to Paris, so that's quite a story. So Healy Sprite, so Spriget, this one, so obviously badge engineered BMC product. Midgets of the same period look pretty much the same. You always see a couple of modified Fords like that. And then the original Morris Minor here. So the kind of so Morris's kind of answer to the Austin 7. So yeah, small, lightweight, affordable. This one's a drop top coupe. Some kind of sporting Austin here. Not a lot of Austin. So this is a 12.4, so very similar to the one that we've got, but of course this is a racing special, so it's got the chassis is the same. Heavy 12.4 is that'll be the same chassis, but you've got a very, very different body. But yeah, if you take the body off both of them, the chassis is going to look pretty much the same, I'd have thought. Another big Bentley. That one's not got a blower on it, but it's a very impressive beast nonetheless. And then this one, it's a Talbot. That's a lovely big tourer. I think they rather than convertibles or cabriolets, they were called tourers when these cars were built. An Alvis, so this is a bit different to the TA21 we saw, 2 TA21s we saw last week. This is a much more veteran Alvis. And we've got this dear little sports car here, just a single seat, unless you want to sit on that aluminium tub. A Gordon England Brooklands. Isn't that something superb? So rudimentary, but at the time would have been so much fun to drive. A Bayliss Thomas Speedster, so a mark that I've never even heard of. This is the great thing about Kop Hill. You do get people bringing out these absolutely rare treats. We saw that A40 Farina a little earlier, so we won't go back to that. Another Austin 7, another little Riley sports car. A Humber. Like all these British marks just got swallowed up into big conglomerates. So throughout the 50s and 60s, and you end up with just 2 or 3 brands. Remember seeing this one last year. So it's a blower Bentley, but this one's powered by synthetic fuel. So Sustained Fuels make synthetic petrol, which I think is probably the future, rather than these electric things that, if they go wrong, are very expensive and very kind of terminal.
I said, yeah, don't trouble with it. You made it too good.
We've got this massively engined. That's just insane, that engine. And that's just all engine. We've seen this one with that chain drive at the back. An American La France. Yeah, when we're seeing this go, actually saw this go up the hill, or waiting to go up the hill last year, but it's one hell of a thing. And you can see the valve springs completely prone. So it's T-head, 3-speed crash gearbox, 9,000 cubic, so it's just shy of 15-litre engine. That's insane, utterly insane. Another Humber, another vintage Humber. So, then another 7. That's tiny, that one. That's really small. Those wheels are like bicycle wheels. They really are tiny. Got another rod of some sort, another Ford Model T that's been rodded. Ford V8 under, or some kind of V8 under the engine. This looks like another Bentley. I could be wrong. It is another Bentley. glorious looking thing. And then this is a Dodge, so that has, if you can see in the engine bay of this one, it is worth looking at because it's yeah, it's pretty rudimentary, and you can sort of see everything going on. Ford Frontenac Indianapolis 500 Racer. There we are. It's lucky that's written on the side because I wouldn't have a clue what it is otherwise. V2 car of some description, and then a Vauxhall. Oh, very classic Vauxhall, or vintage Vauxhall there. Look at that. Very narrow bodied. So obviously a big saloon would fuse all that chassis up, but these sort of sporty ones, you just literally got a narrow body sort of on the middle of the chassis, so keep that weight down. And then this is another great big beast, so a Hispano Suiza. So a Spanish vintage car, massive thing. Of course, if Hispano Suiza made aircraft engines, got some getting quite old now with some of these V engines, just with bits sticking out of the side. So your valve train's basically sticking out of the side of the canopy. A Picard Pictet, Geneva. So a Swiss Romande made car. And then this thing's just insane. A Buick E49 7-passenger tourer. And that's just a massive lump. Look at the size of that engine. That's just insane. And you've got 2 seats up front, you've got a couple of little pop-up seats, and then a bench at the back. So they reckon they can get 7 people in there. Maybe not these days, because people are bigger than they were back when these Buicks were made, I'm sure. Very, very early Model T4. That's just so skeletal, it's unreal. And then is this a steam-powered car? I don't know what it is, but it's very, very clean. I'm pretty sure this is a steamer. So of course, steam and water-based fuel is not a new thing. But yeah, that's quite something. That's very, very stately indeed. It's got some Stanley tools. No, nothing to give away what it is. I should remember, because I remember it kind of silently sailing up the hill last year. Oakland Romano. Again, getting quite basic. So thank you for watching part 1 of Beards and Bangers looks around the Kop Hill Climb paddock. Check out part 2 tomorrow.